BYD is about to launch the new Seal in Australia, New Zealand, possibly a bunch of other countries, definitely going to Europe, Singapore, I believe, Japan. Yeah, you can see it's going to be a global car for the company, and it's based on their new 3.0 architecture. Reviewers say it's the best car BYD have ever made. So is it actually safe? Well, we have the results. In some ways, it's amazingly good. In other ways, it's not quite up to where you might expect. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking. Great to see you. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Welcome back, everyone else. Thank you for tuning in. Great to see you. This year, it's going to be on between BYD and Tesla. Why do I say that? Well, because the Seal and the Tesla Model 3 will be very similar prices in whatever countries they are launched in. Now, they're already very close in price in China right now. And because Tesla has recently reduced the price of the Model 3 in almost every market it is on sale in, it's very likely they'll be on par in every market. So are they actually comparable when it comes to safety? Well, as you know, the Tesla Model 3 is the best rated sedan outside of the Tesla Model S when it comes to Euro NCAP safety scores. And the BYD Seal has just been tested officially. It's found its safety performance was actually better than the NIO ET7, which is obviously more expensive, more of a luxury car. So for those of you not aware, the BYD Seal is a fairly low slung sports sedan. That's how it's marketed. It's 4.8 meters long. It's just a tiny, just about an inch or two longer than a Tesla Model 3. Wheelbase is slightly longer than a Model 3. Interior space is slightly bigger than a Model 3, but it has a much smaller boot than a Model 3. So there's trade-offs, interior space better, boot size smaller. There's different trade-offs between the two cars. The standard range Tesla Model 3 comes with a lithium iron phosphate battery pack made by CATL. BYD's comes with a lithium iron phosphate battery pack made by BYD. Very similar batteries, very similar range. One big drawback that I've noticed is BYD vehicles don't yet have proper regen. So you can't actually turn on 1 foot driving. It's impossible to drive your car 1 foot driving in any BYD vehicle. That's just something they don't do for whatever reason. Yes, you can turn on regen and strongest strength. I actually have a BYD car and I do put it in the strongest setting, but it's not possible to actually stop your car using regen. So you're going to get less battery recharge going back into your battery when you try to brake the car using the regen brakes, just because they're not as strong. But there's some advantages to the BYD Seal versus the Tesla Model 3. I'm going to go through those in a video very soon. However, when it comes to other specifications such as range and actual battery pack size, the cars are almost identical. It's eerie how similar they actually are. Now, the NCAP has tested the BYD Seal with rear-wheel drive and an 82.5 kilowatt-hour battery pack that comes with CLTC range of 700 kilometers. That's more like about probably 600 kilometers in the real world, maybe slightly less. Now, this is a more expensive version of the car because it's got a much bigger battery pack, and therefore it's actually going to be a bit heavier and possibly not perform as well in this crash safety test, but it actually performed incredibly well. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, well, this sounds like the Chinese NCAP safety test, you'd be right, it is. However, the Chinese NCAP safety tests are now modeled identically on the Euro test. So actually, in 99% of cases, when a car is tested in Europe or in China, they get the same safety scores. It's very, very, very close. It's basically the same thing now. So you can have a pretty good idea of how this car will actually score when it's tested in Europe, which it will be. Now, the Chinese NCAP includes tests for vehicle occupants, both front and rear, vulnerable road users, in other words, if you hit someone walking along the street, what's going to happen to them? Are they going to die? Well, obviously it depends on how fast you're going, and safety assistance functions. So the BYD Seal did score a 5-star NCAP safety rating. And if you're thinking 5 stars inevitable, well, it's not actually. There was a car that tested recently, got 1 star. That was an electric car. There was another car tested and it got 4 stars. That was a BMW, a new BMW electric car. So it's not a foregone conclusion you're going to get 5 stars just because it's a new car. It's actually pretty difficult now to meet the standards. And as you can see, some are struggling with it. If you want to see my video on the car that got 1 star and that you should not buy, I'll put a link in the description below. So the BYD actually got a total score of 88.6%, which is only a few percent off the Tesla Model 3. And it's a little bit better than the ET7's 87.3%. Now, Car News China says that in the vehicle occupant segment, the Seal scored 92.27%, making it one of the safest cars in the world for the actual occupants sitting inside the vehicle. All in all, that's an incredible result, and it shows how far BYD has come in that area. However, with the side pole impact, the BYD Seal's result wasn't quite as good as what you might have hoped. It was a 14 out of 16. It's still a pretty good result. And one of the key reasons why the BYD Seal scored really well in the safety test was because it has a new cell-to-pack battery. It's called CTB, cell-to-battery technology. Basically what this means is the battery pack acts as the structural member of the car. This makes the car lighter and more structurally rigid. It's very, very similar, almost identical to Tesla's current structural battery packs using 4680 cells. And realistically, to be honest, I think the Chinese manufacturers did get this idea from Tesla, but kudos to them for actually making it work, putting in their cars straight away. Unlike legacy automakers, big companies who just ignored Tesla and said, well, whatever, you do what you want, we don't care. BYD actually said, you know what, that's a good idea. And they went and did it very, very quickly. Now, it's possible BYD had that idea before Tesla did. No one really knows. So the Seal's frontal full-width collision, according to Car News China, was very good, but the driver and occupant's chest and legs received light damage. As for colliding with a mobile deformable barrier, the Seal scored 21 out of 24. That's a pretty good result. However, when it comes to ADAS, well, the ADAS systems are definitely, frankly, they're nowhere near as good as what the ADAS systems are in Tesla, and that's the case for most vehicles on the road. So BYD is certainly not alone here. Now, the vulnerable users safety rating was a score of 10 out of 15. The leg impact wasn't serious, but pedestrians can easily have a trauma by hitting not only A-pillars, but the bonnet, edges, and an area under the windshield. Now, surprisingly, the safety assistance functions in the BYD Seal scored 92.27 points, and the AEB system's performance was 35.9 out of 38. That's an impressive score. It's actually a significantly better score than the BYD Atto 3. However, reviewers have reviewed the car. I've seen the reviews. They're actually testing this in China. Most of them say the ADAS systems are really not that great yet, and BYD is planning on investing a lot of money over the next few years and time on improving those safety systems and how they work. So I'm not really sure how they scored so incredibly well in that area, considering BYD even themselves have admitted there's a fair bit of work they need to do to get up to the level of, say, Tesla's safety system. That said, in general, the BYD Seal's performance was fantastic. It's definitely a very safe car. One of the safest in the world, in fact. And like I said before, the CTB, or cell-to-body technology, with the battery pack integrated into the frame, becoming its structural member, really does increase its rigidity and therefore its safety. And of course, at the same time, it decreases the weight of the car. In fact, the BYD Seal's torsional rigidity is 40,000 Newton meters, meaning it's in the top 1 percentile. And to give you some context, in the Chinese NCAP, when the Atto 3 was tested on safety assist functions, it scored 12.89 points out of 16, or 80%. However, in Europe, the score was around 76%. So you can see here that the Seal has clearly improved its ADAS performance, and you would hope that at some point in time, BYD would release an over-the-air update improving the performance of the Atto 3's safety. Now, I don't know if they're going to do that, but hopefully they will at some point. They did say they're going to have over-the-air updates. Haven't really done them yet. Let's cross our fingers and wait and see if that happens. Let me know your thoughts. Are you considering a BYD Seal? Which one would you get, the BYD Seal or the Tesla Model 3? Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.